So here's why most people have poor sleep, or I should say, people that have poor sleep, here's why most of them have that poor sleep. It's because of two factors mainly. It's cortisol and glutamate levels in the brain. These two things, these two neurochemicals in the brain, keep your mind awake. They keep your mind excited. They keep your mind alert. They keep your mind focused on things you shouldn't be focused on. They keep your mind excited. They're excitatory neurotransmitters in the brain. And the problem is generally, when people have poor sleep, they're overworked, they're stressed out, they're thinking about tomorrow, they have too much on their plate, and they can't calm their system down. They can't calm their body down. They can't calm their brain down. And so these levels of cortisol in the body naturally rise. They just inherently rise up through the day, and then when they go to bed at night, they're still high. So you have cortisol really high, you have glutamate really high, and you just can't calm the system down. So your body's awake, it's alert. You're trying to roll over, you turn this way, you turn that way, your mind's racing, you're thinking of this, you're thinking of that, you're thinking, why can't you sleep? And the cycle goes on and on and on. So what you have to do generally to snap out of this is bring the cortisol levels back down, bring the glutamate levels back down to balance, back down to normal, how they should be. And they should be pretty low just before bed. Now, you can try to do this naturally, and sometimes it's easy if you get your stuff together, if you get a good routine going, if you work out a little bit more, you work out earlier in the day, you eat right. Diet can certainly help big time. Getting into certain habits and doing meditations and things like that can all help greatly when it comes to this. But if you're trying some of these things and it's not working, you can actually try something else, and that's what we come up with in the formula we have called Natural Sleep. We put ingredients into this formula that actually help balance down and bring back down the cortisol and glutamate levels and bring up the relaxing neurotransmitters, basically like a seesaw. So you have, when your body's too out of control, excited, when it's too awake at night, you have the seesaw of cortisol and glutamate on this end really high, and you have the relaxing neurotransmitters like GABA and glycine on this side really low. So what this product does is actually brings the seesaw to the opposite side. So now you have GABA, now you have glycine really high, and you have the cortisol and glutamate low, which is where they should be when you're just about to sleep. And when you have GABA high, mainly GABA, but GABA, glycine, some of the other ones, serotonin, dopamine to a certain extent, but GABA and glycine mainly, when you have those really high, your body is relaxed, it's calm, it's in a tranquil state just before bed. It's ready to start dozing off. You don't have that restlessness anymore. You don't have those crazy racing thoughts that are just keeping you up and tossing and turning. It's just calm. It's in the perfect state for you to fall off and drift off into sleep. And also, to get that deep, restful, restorative sleep that you need. So some medications out there, some sleep meds, I'm not going to name any names, but some medications out there can put you to bed, they can knock you out, but it actually shuts down neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, which is the part that really gets you into the deep, restful sleep. So if you're shutting down certain neurotransmitters in your brain, yeah, you might fall asleep for 7 hours, 8 hours, but your body isn't actually working the way it's supposed to. And not to mention, these things are often habit forming. They're habit forming, they can be addictive, they have side effects, multiple side effects. So really, sleep meds aren't the way to go, aside from the fact that, all those things I just mentioned, habit forming, addictive qualities, tendencies, it just doesn't give you the restful sleep that you need. So yeah, you could take it, you might sleep fairly decent, or you might think you're sleeping fairly decent, but then you wake up and you still feel groggy, maybe even groggier than before. You still feel tired, maybe even more tired than before. You're still a little snappy, you're still a little grouchy. Your mood hasn't improved. You still don't have the energy to go out and do things and live your life the way you're supposed to live life because of the neurotransmitters that get shut down and the side effects that taking these sleep medications have. Acetylcholine, by the way, is one of the most important neurotransmitters in your brain. They've done studies where if you shut down acetylcholine for too long by taking medications that shut it down, i.e. things like this, it actually improves your chances of getting dementia down the road. And because it's shutting down the memory centers of your brain, and that's where all the rest and repair and all that stuff needs to happen while you sleep. But if you're just shutting that down, your brain isn't able to rest and restore those parts of your brain, and you do that long enough, it leads to a lot of bad things. But anyways, our sleep formula right here, it's packed with Ashwagandha, which is incredible for ashwagandha alone is incredible for lowering cortisol. They've done multiple double-blind placebo-controlled studies, the gold standard of studies, to test out the fact that ashwagandha is so incredible at lowering cortisol almost immediately in the body. Lemon balm, valerian root, incredible at increasing GABA and putting you in the right state of mind for relaxation, as well as hops. Hops actually works synergistically. Like instead of 1 plus 1 equaling 2, it's like 1 plus 1 equals 10 when you combine hops with valerian root. And valerian root by itself, by the way, is also incredibly effective at just calming the body down. People with anxiety often take valerian root because it's so effective at relaxing you and just bringing you back to a grounded state. It's very powerful. So hops, when you combine it with valerian root, incredible. It really is powerful. It also has got magnesium, calcium, which is very effective for relaxing the muscles. So instead of being all tightly wound up and feel like you have to go run a marathon just before sleep, which is the total opposite of what you want, magnesium, calcium relaxes the muscles, calms you down, puts you in the right state of mind, increases some of that GABA effect, and just makes you feel incredible. It's also got melatonin in it, which melatonin is so incredibly effective. You've probably heard of melatonin before, but a lot of formulas don't have the right dosage of melatonin, and also has a bad rap because people will just take melatonin alone thinking that will solve all their problems. But melatonin is very effective at resetting the circadian rhythm, resetting the biological clock. So if you're all out of whack, sleeping here, there, sleeping everywhere, or not sleeping at all, your body needs to get into a routine of when it's going to fall asleep. And melatonin is incredibly effective at gently resetting the body's natural clock and putting it back into the correct circadian rhythm and helping you fall asleep thereafter. It's also an incredible antioxidant, so while you sleep, it does a lot of the garbage cleanup that your brain needs. Oxidative stress, all those things, garbage that accumulate throughout the day, it helps clean those things out. And lastly, there's Bioprin, which is black pepper extract in this baby, which they've done clinical studies where they actually add Bioprin to specific herbs, including some of the ones in here, and it can increase the effectiveness of those herbs by up to 30%. So just a little bit of black pepper extract, which is in this form is Bioprin, the name of it, trademark name. It can really improve the effect of the herbs and just the overall formula, make it that much more, up to 30% more effective. So natural sleep is the name here. It's one of the best ways to get your body back into rhythm, get yourself back into deep sleep, and actually wake up feeling amazing again. So highly recommend that you check it out. And I highly recommend that if you don't check it out, you at least address some of the problems with the high cortisol and glutamate levels in your brain just before bed. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's a pleasure getting on and doing these videos, and I'm going to be back at it going forward. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment below your thoughts, and also share this with somebody who needs to hear it.